Hello, and welcome back to Break Free Basics, where we go over retirement concepts and break them down into easy to learn chunks. Today, we're going to be going over a very important topic, and that is going to be Roth conversions. But before we do that, today's episode, I do have to say that this is for educational purposes only. We are not offering tax, legal, or investment advice. Everybody's situation is different, and always talk to your professionals about whether this makes sense to you, because we are not tax, legal, or investment advisors. We are simply a plan provider, letting you guys know about the product, educating you on things you can do within the product, and you taking over from there. So now that we got that out of the way, I got to do my job, and that is to provide you with an option that is available to you, and that's going to be the Roth conversion. Let's go ahead and dive in. What is it? Well, to understand that, you first need to understand that there's traditional IRA and Roth IRA. Traditional IRAs are going to be pre-tax funds going in. Any growth is going to be tax deferred. And then down the road in retirement, when you take distributions, you get taxed then. So all of this, you're going to get taxed one time. So traditional IRA, pre-tax, tax deferred, taxed in retirement. Roth IRA, post-taxed dollars are going in. So you've already been taxed. Growth, tax-free. And then when you take distribution, since you've already been taxed, you're not going to get taxed again. So that's the main difference between traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs. So Roth conversion is simply transitioning from traditional into a Roth. A lot of people, unfortunately, have the misconception that doing a Roth conversion is a get out of paying taxes free card. That is not correct. I always said at the beginning, you get taxed one time, right? So if it's in traditional and then you do the Roth conversion, that's when you get taxed, is at the conversion point. So you get taxed there, but leading to kind of why people do this is after the conversion, all of that growth is going to be tax-free because you got taxed during the conversion. So a lot of times with alternative assets, that's advantageous for people, right? Because they see kind of a lot of growth with the assets, with the properties, private equity, anything that they're investing in. And it makes more sense for them in that moment to take the tax hit and then have that tax-free growth. So then come retirement, they can take it out, everything good. So that's kind of the main attraction to the Roth conversion. Another one is going to be something called required minimum distribution. Roth IRAs don't have them. Basically, once you reach a certain age, the IRS expects you to take distributions from these types of accounts. Those are called required minimum distributions. Traditional IRAs, you have them. Roth IRAs, you don't. So that's another reason that you may take a look into doing a Roth conversion other than the tax-free growth is the benefit of not having to take an RMD. So those are kind of the reasons why that's what they are. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the process. To start, you need to have a Roth IRA open, right? Can't do a Roth conversion and put it into nothing. So make sure you have the Roth IRA open with your custodian. Then it's about identifying the assets that you want to convert, right? A lot of people think, oh, I'm doing a conversion. I have to convert my entire traditional IRA. It's not the case. You can do it in chunks. No problem at all. Always talk to your tax advisor. See how much makes sense, what percentage makes sense. And then that way you're not taking, a massive tax hit right then and there. You can kind of spread it out over time. So it's identifying the assets you want to convert, how much you want to convert. Once you've done that, you submit the paperwork to your custodian, and then they work with you to do the conversion. If it's cash, relatively simple process. But, if it's something like real estate, they may require evaluation or appraisal to make sure that they're doing the appropriate amount on the conversion and the percentages match up. So always kind of have that communication open with your custodian, make sure that they don't need anything. Otherwise, there's going to be delays in the process and everything like that. And then once they're done, the conversion's good to go. And then those gains are going to be tax-free rest of the way out as long as they're in that Roth account. So that's the gist of it, right? That's turning pre-tax funds that are tax-deferred growth into post-tax, tax-free growth. Hopefully you found this interesting. Hopefully you learned some things. If you did, come on back. We do this every week where we go over different topics, teach you some different things. It's not going to be overwhelming. Hopefully it's not going to be information that isn't useful. I think all of this stuff is useful. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook where we go over different things. We have a longer podcast with our host, Nick, who brings in industry professionals on how people use these accounts, what people are investing in, real world stuff, not just concepts. I like concepts. He likes real world. So that is called Break Free from Wall Street. It's on Spotify and YouTube. You can find us there. And as always, if you want to really dive deep on all of this stuff, if you want to get gritty with it, go to IRA123.com, where we have a great educational base, different tools. You can learn about these types of things. And when it comes to this, knowledge is power, right? As long as you understand what you're doing and really put the time in to learn about this product, you're going to love it. And I think you're going to find the benefits of it. So visit us, IRA123.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Thank you for turning in to Break Free Basics. I am your host, Travis, and we'll see you next week.